The NFL is now one game from finishing the season in a pandemic. Unbelievable job. This is domestic travel. This is not easy. I mean, you're hitting. I remember listening March, April to an epidemiologist at Harvard or Yale, and they're like, football doesn't make any sense. You can't play football. This will never work. Baseball, you're separated. Basketball, a bubble. Hockey, you wear masks. It will not work in football. No, it was actually better in football than any other sport because the NBA guys had to be forced to play in a bubble, which kind of stinks. Let's be honest, that's no fun. Hey, honey, I'll see you in kids in 3 months. Tip of the cap to the NFL. So after the game, Aaron Rodgers went to the podium. This feels needlessly passive-aggressive to me, but I'm just a hater, so I don't want to make big judgments. But it does feel a little needless, but here you go.
There's a lot of guys' futures that are, uncertain, myself included. That's what's sad about it most. There's a lot of unknowns going into this offseason now. And I'm going to have to take some time away for sure and clear my head and just kind of see what's going on with everything. But it's pretty tough right now.
What is he implying? Green Bay is going to dump him? Green Bay doesn't do flashy things. Free agency, they don't dump people. Brett Favre for years started threatening retirement, and they just moved on. That I got. That I defended. That was a pity party. Like, what are you implying? If Green Bay cut Aaron Rodgers today, we went and looked it up and saved him $5 million. Folks, Jordan Love didn't dress for games this year. He's not even their backup. He didn't wear a Packer uniform this year. Is Aaron threatened by that? This is not Mahomes getting drafted behind Alex Smith. That's not what this is. This is not Aaron Rodgers getting drafted behind Favre and tweaking Favre for years, according to reports. Aaron's threatened by a guy who doesn't wear the uniform yet, who doesn't dress to play. It felt needlessly passive-aggressive. I don't even know what he's implying. Green Bay's not letting go of Aaron Rodgers because he lost a playoff game to the GOAT. Even if he should have won, they're not letting him go. They'd be insane. And that is the opposite. That's something Detroit would do. The Lions would do that. The Packers don't do that. Here was Matt LaFleur forced to comment on it after.
I sure as hell hope so. I mean, guy's the MVP of this league. He is the heart and soul of our football team. So, hell yeah, he better be back here. He's our leader. And, just so appreciative of him buying into what we're trying to get done around here and leading that group.
Matt LaFleur had to clean up the mess. Has Brady, in one example, 22 years, gone to a podium after a loss and done a pity party? Difference between talent and leadership. Now Green Bay has to clean up a mess. You lost. It hurts. It stinks. I get it. I do. I get it. I appreciate the fact you actually went up there and talked. There's been quarterbacks that wouldn't do that. I get it. I appreciate that. It's tough. I get it. And Aaron was the only quarterback this weekend who was going to lose and get criticized because, let's be honest, at home, Lambeau, warm weather team, coming up north, progressive coach, playing great. But come on. Leadership is always viewed in crisis, not rolling the Bears. It's viewed after that loss. That's not good. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, the Bills got out to an early 9-0 lead over the Chiefs, but they struggled to score a touchdown again until late in the fourth quarter. They had opportunities in the red zone to go for it on 4th and goal from the 2 or 4th and 3 from the 8, but kicks field goals instead. And Sean McDermott explained why he made those decisions.
Thought about it in both occasions, really, and maybe, if I had to go over again, I would have went for maybe one of them. But the one before the half, for sure, I wanted to get points. we were having trouble coming up with points, and I wanted to at least have something to show for it going into half, especially knowing they were getting the ball after half. And so, I'll look back at that, and then I'll go back and reevaluate that, especially the one after half there. And again, as an entire team, we'll learn from this experience.
There's something called chasing points. But the problem is, when you face Kansas City, especially in Kansas City, you get forced chasing points. Like, I would agree with Sean McDermott against 30 NFL teams. But against Kansas City, it's like playing the Warriors with Kevin Durant. You shoot more threes because they're hitting theirs.
Yeah.
And you're down 7, 12, 18. And you do have to change your game plan and, take more difficult three-point shots because sometimes you get against one of these blizzards and it changes the way you have to play.
I just don't like conservative play calling in a must-win, do-or-die situation.
You and I have always agreed on that.
And then you add to it, that, to your point, that you're playing the Chiefs. Field goals are not going to get it done. It's very cute. It's good for morale, but you need to score touchdowns.
Like his reasoning, this is where, because I'm older than you, his reasoning is what I grew up on.
Right.
Before you get you take points.
You also used to never go for it on fourth down.
But it's like what's happening is the rules are all offense. Mahomes and Andy Reid in this group are ridiculous. It's at Kansas City, and you do get to a point where you are doing what you shouldn't do, which is you end up chasing points.
Fortune favors the bold. And
I like that.
This is, I didn't come up with it, but it is a good
I'd
statement.
take credit for it.
It certainly applies to this situation. I mean, everyone hated it. Like I like to watch games and live tweet sometimes, and you get kind of everyone's fans and media's reaction to what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
And it's just like the whole entire feed is just everyone confused as to why you did that. Now listen, none of us are in that situation to make that call, and he is, but you are in that situation to make that call, so you're going to get criticized for it. You have to be more aggressive in that spot. I understand you're going to trust your defense and you're struggling to score, but I just feel like you have to go for it. So Patrick Mahomes is returning.
Is now one game from finishing the season in a pandemic. Unbelievable job. This is domestic